Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this episode of BiblioTech On Air. I'm Rosanna.
I'm Ruby.
And I'm Romeo.
For this episode, we'll be covering our latest Libras and Libations pick, None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, available on cloudLibrary in both ebook and audiobook form. Quick little summary for y'all. None of This Is True is a psychological thriller by Lisa Jewell, published in 2023. The story revolves around Alex Summer, a popular podcaster, and Josie Fair, a woman who claims to be on the verge of a breakthrough and convinces Alex to do a podcast about her life. As Alex delves deeper into Josie's story, she begins to question its truthfulness and Josie's motives, leading to a web of deceit and danger, which is kind of underselling it, I think.
Yeah, that's a nice synopsis, but it's a lot more than that, I think, right?
Absolutely. This book is unhinged.
I think definitely spoilers, right? For those of you who haven't read it or looking to get into it, we're going to have some spoilers in here. But I was talking to y'all before we started really quick and just, we were talking about how the conversation, the discussion yesterday was a really good one.
Yeah.
Kind of thought-provoking. It was one of our better discussions. So let's get into it. Consider how the book's title influenced your perception of events and characters. What elements were you suspicious of from the start because of the title?
That none of it was going to be true.
Yeah.
It's literally in the title. And then by the time you finish the book, you're like, we just come full circle?
Yeah, I had a hard time trusting Joycey because, I don't know, have y'all seen Saltburn?
No?
Okay. Well, it kind of reminded me of that, whereas like at the end, he played everyone. So that's what I thought was happening. I was like, she's trying to play this girl, like maybe try to get her life or get her money. I don't know. I thought it was going like somewhere down that road.
That's valid, though. That's valid, because it seemed like she was just kind of inserting herself, and when she was starting to take everything and being like, you'd be fine without a man, you know. I could see it easily taking that route.
I agree. It was none of this is true, right? The title suggests that, you know, what is true, what isn't. And with Josie's character, I mean, obviously we can get into it a little bit, but they make you believe that she's, you know, innocent at first and just kind of like this, you know, look at me, woe is me type person. But
like
then
abused. Well, she was groomed when she was younger, and then being abused by Walter, her husband.
Look out, world. I'm looking to gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss my way through trauma.
I like the air quotes. Being abused.
We don't know.
We don't know. Because none of it's true. We don't know. Okay. So what about a shared birthday might make you feel bonded to someone? Would you feel a sense of connection and intrigue? And why do you think Josie views this ordinary coincidence with so much importance and meaning? So just for context for our listeners, she shares a birthday with Alex. They meet up at a restaurant and she's like, oh, look at this woman. It's her birthday too. And they just kind of spark up a small conversation. So why do you think she was so intrigued by that? And why did it have so much importance and meaning to her?
It was just something more to be like, look at this thing about me that this stranger has. It's about me.
Good point.
Because she's very self-centered.
I could see that. Like, I feel like because they were literally born in the same hospital too. I don't know. They found that out later though.
Yeah.
But then and there, like just seeing someone has a birthday, and then they probably, because Alex was surrounded by like a bunch of friends, right?
Yeah.
And Joycey was just kind of there with Walter.
Yeah.
So I think that is a big play into it. Like, she's like, man, I don't know. She could have probably been like, that could have been me. Like, being surrounded by all that.
That should have been me.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't recall, they were born in the same hospital, same day, but were they the same age?
Yeah, 45.
Right? They were both 45?
The same age.
I think Melinda made a good point. She said that she was waiting for some reveal to be like, hey, they're like
twins
separated at birth type thing. I thought that would have been kind of a nice twist.
There's a lot of directions like this story could have taken.
Yeah.
That would not have been like super far-fetched either, the twin thing.
I think that would have added to it. I mean,
that really would have.
Wow.
But like, it's weird. Like, I don't know about y'all. We did talk about this at Libros too. Like, I've had coworkers with like the same birthday, like birthday twins, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's cool. But I find it more endearing when it's like, yeah, birthdays around the same area, but like an actual day, I'm like, I mean, that's kind of my day.
That's kind of my day.
True. I mean, that's the thing, right? You're sharing it with someone, especially if it is a close friend. It's like, and you have a group of friends. It's like, well, who are we celebrating? You can celebrate both. But
who's your favorite?
Correct. Who's your favorite? It's like, what's my day?
And Josie's going to want her to be the favorite.
Absolutely. I was just thinking, me and my mom have the same birthday.
Do you really?
Yeah, we do.
Oh
we
my
have the
God.
exact same birthday.
Dang.
We're going to see this book play out.
I know, right?
my dad and I I'm the 10th of October. But we're 3 days. So, okay.
Well, we're going to be redacting that just for...
Okay. So in what ways are we encouraged to see Josie in a sympathetic light in the early chapters? How does Lisa Jewell's characterization lead us to think of Josie as just a little quirky or lonely and ultimately harmless?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. Well, I feel like I'm an empath, but I'm also like watch a lot of true crime. So I'm like, you can't really trust anybody, you know?
Yeah.
So like from the beginning, I was like, man, Josie's kind of weird. I don't know if I would be like sharing that much of my personal life with her or like making it grow into a closer relationship, you know? I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird.
Like, is it trauma weird or is it like Girls Unhinged kind of weird? You don't know what level of weird it's going to play out to be. Because at first, I mean, when you find out like some of the stuff she's telling you that she's been through or telling Alex, it's like, oh my goodness, no wonder you are the way you are. But then you find out more and you see how she just kind of starts to like unravel a bit more. It's like, oh, I don't know how much of this, you're embellishing.
Yeah, because I think there are levels to weird. So like, shout out to Crime Junkie podcast that I listen to all the time. But like one of their life rules is be weird, be rude, stay alive. So like, okay, you can be weird, but I think she was very strange.
It's be weird, be rude, and stay alive?
Stay alive.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
So if you're looking at it from that perspective, right, maybe she was just kind of weird because she's on edge, right? Because she's lived this life of abuse and stuff. But I didn't get that. I think it was a little bit more cringy, more like you said, just kind of in your face, invasive, like kind of wanting to be around Alex and others a little too much.
Yeah.
Kind of strange.
Doesn't really understand personal space.
Yeah.
Obviously.
At all.
Ooh.
Steals your stuff.
Yeah, she was wearing her clothing, right? I mean, for days.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, your clothes are clean.
She's like,
nah.
I'm good.
I like this.
Your detergent smells off. No.
I like this vata. That's what I like.
Oh my God.
Okay, so as Alex learns increasingly dark details about Josie's life, she is disturbed but does not intervene, nor does she stop the podcast interviews. Do you think Alex should have done something? And what do you think the outcome would have been if she did?
Well, I think it was Dulce who mentioned that, because at first it was kind of like, oh, she's doing it for clout. But I think she mentioned like, well, no, it's kind of more like you see someone's life is harder or worse than you. So you kind of want to keep them around.
That's true.
See how it plays out for,
Yeah.
and like that grim satisfaction of like, well, that's not me.
Yeah, I get that.
So you think it was like a comparison, like she's worse than I am, so it makes me feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good way of looking at it. But I felt a lot of times that Alex, should have like done something about it. Should have said, hey, you know what? This is getting too weird. Like the part where she invites her into her house.
Yeah.
I know we'll probably talk about it a little bit later, but she invites her to her house and doesn't ever kick her out, just lets her stay and decides on asking her to leave when her sister's going to visit. But it's like, that's like in 7 days.
Yeah.
Like, there's this strange lady who's been acting very strange and you're saying nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
The part where she said that Walter had hit her and she comes bloody and she's like, we should call the police. And she's like, no. I don't know. It's hard. I'm like, obviously, girl, you should have called the police.
Yeah.
Definitely. And why are you going to bring that? Like, if supposedly he beat her and he's probably going to be like, oh, she's been hanging around this person lately.
Who knows what he's going to do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have young kids in your home. Like, why would you put them through that? Even when your husband, who's, poor dude's an alcoholic and going through midlife crisis, but like even when he's sketched out about it, like alarm bells. And she just did not. She was like, no, I got to do this.
She's like, you want to record an episode tomorrow?
Yeah. It's like, we have all day. Don't worry about it. Just stay in my house for 10 days. We can record forever. I thought about the kids right away too. I'm like, you're inviting this stranger in.
Yeah.
Don't know what she's capable of. And again, I hadn't considered that. The fact that Walter can just show up at any time if he's this abusive person and just murder all of them.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it was Malena who mentioned like if she had invited someone to stay and her husband found out, there would be no discussion. He would just be like, no, you need to get out.
Yeah.
And that's very valid.
Maybe the initial night, right? After she got beat up, I could see that.
Yeah, I could.
She showed up like at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, right. You don't want to leave her out in the street. Fine. But hey, in the morning, you got to go. But
we're calling the police in the morning and you got to go.
Correct. Correct. Set those boundaries right away, which she didn't do. So, okay. So Josie ponders her life and choices throughout the novel. At one point, wondering how she might leave her family and live elsewhere. She thinks to herself, quote, Alex is the answer to everything, somehow, unquote. Why does Josie think Alex will change her life? And how do you think she envisions a change at this point in the novel?
Someone at book club, I really liked her point where she was like, Josie kind of just always looks for people to kind of save her. Like when she was younger, she looked to Walter to save her from the situation she had at home. And then she looked to her daughters when she had her daughters. She's like, they're going to save me, you know, from, I don't know, whatever trauma she had. And then now Alex, she's like clinging onto Alex. Like she's going to now save me from my terrible home life that I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. And at the point she made, which made a lot of sense, was that even though these people, she looked to them to save her, she was just always disappointed. She was never satisfied. So throughout her life, she was just it was always going to end in disappointment for her because nobody ever lived up to her expectations. And I don't know why she just thought she saw something else in Alex that would really change her life. I don't know. She became pretty obsessed with Alex though.
Yeah, she was always a victim. She victimized herself, never took the steps to, you know, try and improve.
I mean, she's a narcissistic person.
Correct.
Like, we're probably going to get into it, or that's where I was thinking like, man, how can none of this be true? But I'm like, when you're like a narcissist, like, I don't know, you just have like no empathy, like no remorse, you know? So you can just be telling lie after lie after lie and like genuinely believe them, you know, think you're in the right.
And no accountability for her own actions. Just like everybody else is the problem. Like, I'm fine. Creepy.
Yeah, because you see how everyone else surrounding her suffers so many, you know, they're the friggin' fallout of it. But then, you know, later towards the story, you find out like, dang, she really hasn't like paid for any of this. I mean, we'll get into that. But.
She's crazy. Okay, so what was your initial reaction to the scene in which Josie screams at and slaps Walter? After knowing the ending, how do you now understand their dynamics?
Okay, let's get one thing straight. Walter gets no sympathy.
He's a pedophile.
Because he's a pedophile at the end of the day.
Correct. Which I won't mention names, but some people yesterday were almost like, I don't want to say siding with Walter, but they felt like almost sympathy for him. And I'm like, no, he was a pedophile, period.
At the end of the day, because you see the repetitive patterns.
Yeah.
Now, with that said,
Rosanna was one of those.
Excuse me?
Just kidding.
No, like
defending a man.
Before the podcast, I was telling Romeo, I was very upset at the fact that like she kind of hinted that too in the book where Josie was like pretty spiteful from the beginning and wanted to steal Walter from her mother. So she was the one that was persuading Walter. So she was the one had like wanted him and to herself or whatever. But I was like, oh, it's weird because he's still not in the right.
Yeah.
Like he's still a pedophile.
Correct.
And so I like that like no characters in this book you can really sympathize with at all. You can't be like, yeah, this person is like clean as a whistle. You know, he's innocent. He's the true victim. Yeah. Everyone has their dirty laundry.
Correct.
So that bothered me, but I'm like, okay, I see what you did there.
I would say the most innocent person, which is he's not innocent, was probably Nathan, Alex's husband, only because he was an alcoholic and I still feel like he was cheating on her, but apparently he wasn't. Everybody else had a lot of other baggage and stuff. It was kind of like,
I still think Fred is the most innocent.
Oh, you know what? Good point. Fred
no, he pooped all over Alex's house.
But
diarrhea.
It's not his fault, you know. Look at his upbringing.
Look at his upbringing.
Look at his mom. Crazy as hell.
Yeah, very true. What did he eat? We were talking about it yesterday. We
still don't
know.
Goulash.
Goulash.
Yeah.
I thought it was borscht. That's what I went with.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Whatever. Sounds Russian. They're both fine. Okay. So what details from Aaron and Roxy's stories about their childhoods and more recent events shocked you the most? Which of Josie's lies did you assume were true and why? So it's two questions, but we'll start with the first one. So what details from Aaron and Roxy's stories about their childhoods and more recent events shocked you the most? So Aaron and Roxy are the daughters of Josie.
I thought it was so weird how Josie seemed very controlling and like with the dog, like when she was telling Walter, like, you got to walk him and make sure he poops and make sure you pick it up and this and that. But then she would go back home and just pass by Aaron's room and be like, no, I'm not going to look in there. I'm not going to deal with that, you know?
That's a good point. I did not think about it like that.
I was like, that's weird that she's being like so motherly to this dog and yet her daughter's locked up in a room and she hasn't seen her for who knows how long.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird. And she was like, she smells too, or her room smells.
Yeah.
And no concern whatsoever to even open the door.
But that goes back to what you mentioned, the narcissistic tendencies, like just all about her, like forget my own daughter.
Yeah.
The other one ran away from home at 16, and then Erin is still at home, but doesn't take care of her. She's eating baby food in the back.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I thought she was dead this whole time because she was so deflective about everything with Alex when Alex was like, well, why don't we call Erin? Why don't we ask Erin? And she was like, no, we can't do that. So I'm like, okay, they killed her and buried her like years ago.
Which is valid because, yeah, I mean, when you say the stench and then, like you said, the dismissiveness of it all. And you had mentioned at Libros, like she was giving you
Eugenia Cooney vibe.
Yeah.
She's a YouTuber who, like, a lot of people have their opinions about her, you know, about her home life and things like that. So that's like the hint that I was getting because Erin, she's like she's really famous streamer. And that's what tipped off the police in the end was that when she was on live, some of the people who were watching her stream heard shouting and things like that. And then it went black. And so that's what tipped off police. So like, that's what it was reminding me of. I was like, I've seen so many like streamers where people like have so much to say and like they actually call police and they're like, can you do a wellness check on the streamer or whatever, things like that. So that's what it reminded me of. I was like, she's just going through something like in her room, you know?
Yeah. I won't lie to you, that whole like she's just in her room streaming just kind of, it didn't do much for me. Like I felt like, again, Lisa Jewell, immaculate. Who am I, right? My opinion doesn't mean anything. But I just felt like there was something better that could have been done other than, oh, well, it turns out she was just playing games in there with her dad and like streaming.
Well, we don't even know if like that's all true because they never mentioned like you know, like her dad being on the stream or something. They typically just kind of be like, oh, well, you know, erased or whatever her username was as a streamer. Yeah. But they never mentioned like the dad, but
man, that's true. So maybe that wasn't even true.
See, that's the thing. We don't
None of this is true.
Because supposedly he was abusing her too, but then like on the other flip side, it's like, oh no, he was just in there playing video games. And they're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Okay, but so then like it's a little graphic, just little disclaimer, but they talk about him SAing her and raping her, graping her, I should say. But is that even real? Was that real? That is one thing I don't know if he was doing or
I mean,
not.
the thing is, you don't see it as like being too far-fetched considering how much of a pedophile he's been.
Correct.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
well,
I mean,
it's crazy because like we're getting stories from two narcissistic people, Josie and Roxy. Josie is like, yeah, he was going in there and SAing Erin. But then Roxy, who's also narcissistic, she was like, no, that's not what happened. He was just going in there and playing video games with her, you know? So it's like, you really just
But that's the thing, like she wasn't even home. Like, how do you know that?
Exactly, yeah.
I assume that she was watching the stream. That was her way of kind of at a distance, keeping an eye. Because if she saw, I mean, she was looking out for Erin, quote unquote, looking out.
Yeah.
And then her dad, she could see her dad in the stream if he was in fact on the stream. But again, who knows?
Yeah.
Everything could just be lies.
Like the only person who would probably tell the truth would be Erin. But unfortunately, she has, I feel like, so much trauma.
And it seems like she's kind of complicit in a few things too, which like, we'll go into
the fact
later.
that she eats baby food, you know, that's just a sign of regression.
They were saying, the regression.
Because of she's trying to look for comfort, and the only comfort she had was when she was a baby. So that's got to say something too. Like, there's obviously been some form of abuse. We just don't know what kind of abuse.
Yeah. Was she eating baby food on stream? What kind?
Split pea.
Split peas, the word.
But she was microwaving it, so imagine the smell.
Imagine
that's what the smell was. Okay. All right. So toward the end of the novel, we get more perspectives on Josie as a character and the truth of what she did from her children, her mother, Caitlin, and others. With these increased points of view, how do you now see Josie?
Man.
I mean, because
she needs to be locked up.
Yeah.
And I don't mean jail. I mean like asylum, or what do you think?
Let me have 2 seconds of there. All right.
If you don't know what we're talking about, make sure you refer back to our previous podcast.
Previous episode.
But I mean, it just, I swear the relevance for the title, none of this is true. It just, Josie's such an unreliable character. And that kind of like goes back to the previous book we did. Like, you know, the unreliable narrator kind of character. Yeah. That's what this is. Alex, she's never going to know the full scope of it. We're never going to know the real truth of it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, she needs to make a second book because I was like, everyone just has so much trauma. I'm like, why is Josie the way she is? They kind of mentioned that the mom was like, kind of just left her to be independent and care for herself. But I was like, man, is that enough trauma to turn her into this crazy narcissistic person? I don't know.
I just thought of something. So what if Lisa Jewell, the title, none of this is true? What if that's her way of telling the reader, literally none of this is true? Like you don't know what's true, what isn't. It's fiction anyway.
She's like, I just wrote this book for funsies.
Yeah. So what if it's just like, here it is. None of it's true anyway. Which is what fiction is, I guess. Just to mess with the reader. That's genius.
Like that would be super cool if that's like what she was going for.
It's crazy. We got to get her on. So Lisa Jewell, if you're listening, we'd like to have you on.
Because it could be also a nod to like how a lot of like these documentaries and stuff, to an extent, they're still kind of scripted a little bit. So who's to say?
True.
I mean, yeah, like they're literally showing us scenes of Netflix documentary specials of what's going on.
Like Blair Witch.
Are those all true?
Yeah, something like that.
Just like you don't know. Well, because I went to, long story short, I went to see it at the movies. That ages me a little bit. But there was no social media at the time. So like you really thought that the way they marketed that was amazing.
Yeah.
They really made you as the viewer believe that these kids were missing. So I'm assuming maybe that's kind of what she might have been going for. Like, we don't know what's going on here. It's all crazy. So I don't know, whatever.
And we never will.
No, we won't. I think somebody said maybe they should do like a sequel to it. But I said, no, I think ending it the way it did was the right way to go.
I mean, that bonus chapter, I think, definitely fills in some gaps, if anything.
Yeah. That was a trippy one. So, okay. So in the very last scene, Josie is on a bus contemplating the past. She convinces herself that the way she remembers things is what really happened. Do you think we are supposed to believe her, or is she deluding herself? So context, she's not been captured for doing all what she did, murdering Nathan, whatever she did. So what do you think? Are we supposed to believe her at the end?
I don't know. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
There's so much, because you find out that, one of the characters, Brooke, who was a girl who had gone missing, you find out that Josie was somehow involved in, her disappearance and murder.
Yeah.
But then Josie, when she's reminiscing, it's like, oh, it was a cover up because her daughter Roxy was the one that accidentally killed her.
Yeah.
So it's like, we don't know if how true that is. Like, was she really being a good mother trying to cover up and protect her daughter? And then you find out about Nathan, where she's like, oh, well, I just wanted to show you he's going to do so much better. You're going to do so much better. You're going to thrive, girl.
But she killed him.
She killed him. Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to kill him. I just drugged him a bit too much, And then Caitlin too. Like, Caitlin, girl, how are you not in jail for like,
I know, right?
being complicit or like,
Yeah. Do you think Josie wanted Nathan? I thought about that for a bit.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't necessarily mean like, physically, maybe just the aspect of
like possession.
Like, I'm in control, and like, she liked their lavish life. They give some context about how they lived in a very nice home, and Nathan was this, I guess, computer dude or whatever he said. I don't know what he did, but he made money basically. And I don't know, maybe she just saw him as like I
don't know, but I also think like misery loves company. So I think maybe she was trying to like she gained a friendship with Alex and sees Alex like kind of have like a not so great husband. So she's like always telling her, ugh, men,
Yeah.
So I think she's just trying to like influence her to maybe get rid of him. Maybe they can run off together. I don't know. Maybe she liked Alex, like how Roxy was in a relationship with Brooke.
Good point.
Maybe Josie liked Alex and was like, wanted to run away with her too,
True.
Which, I mean, not gonna lie, did get fruity vibes every now and then just because of how obsessive she was.
Yeah, exactly.
But clearly it didn't play out in that direction.
Yeah, but that's true. That could have been the thing too. And the men, yeah, most of y'all agreed with that yesterday. Me and George were like,
yeah,
just there.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Okay. So what did you think about the structure of the book set around a podcast and a Netflix series?
It was neat.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I liked it.
Pretty unique.
Yeah. Did you all do the audio?
Yeah, I did both.
So I was a little confused. I won't lie. From in the beginning, I was kind of like, okay, clearly I knew what they were doing, but without the physical in front, because after looking at the physical, it kind of gives you a better breakdown of what's what and what is the documentary or what is the podcast and what's real or whatever, or none of it's real. But I was a little confused at first. It took me like probably like, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes into the audio to kind of grasp what was going on.
Yeah, and like the thing that bothered me was the fact that the audio wasn't mentioning like the scene changes, because in the book it's like, okay, scene changes, we have this scenery, this person sitting in this chair and they look like this, And then the audiobook just went straight to, he was a blah, 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 like the person talking.
Correct.
I was like, dang, I wish but I don't know how they would have fit that in the audio. I feel like you should definitely do both for this because the audiobook was very engaging too.
It was.
There's no other way to read it. Just got to do both.
Different narrators and stuff. I think that set the tone. That was good. English accents threw me for a loop. When I was telling you guys, I had it on 2.5 speed and I was like, okay, that's, whoa, I got to slow it down. It's too much for me. So, okay. So why did Alex put up with her husband's disappearing acts? So Nathan was always taking off. They even mentioned at one point, her sisters asked her, like, when does he usually come home? She's like, the next day. And this happens throughout the book constantly. So I'm like, why would she just keep putting up with it?
I mean, you see that pretty often.
Yeah.
Well, not pretty often, but, you know, it's not uncommon to see people like, oh, well, you know, if he does it again.
Yeah.
I think she was just like, because when she was talking to Josie, she was like, well, my life isn't as bad as hers. You know, I feel like she kind of was thinking of it in his way, like, well, he just like drinks himself to freaking oblivion. That's it. You know,
he's not a pedophile.
Like he's not a pedophile. He's not cheating on me. He's not doing this, and this, you know? So
he's
you
not a decrepit old man.
You kind of start I feel like you tell yourself things.
Like rationalize it.
Yeah. Like choose your poison. Yeah, exactly. So I think that's what she was doing. I think she was like, well, it's not the greatest, but
it could be worse, I guess.
Yeah, like it could be worse. This happens. Maybe she knows of his trauma in the past and maybe she knows this is how he deals with it. Doesn't agree with it, but
like it's not an excuse.
What else can she do?
Yeah.
Maybe
it's because I kind of felt like the way they were describing his binging, his nights out. It just to me, like as I would say, like a normal woman would probably be like, okay, what the hell's going on? This guy's cheating on me, right? I need to, I don't know, go follow him or get a PI to look out. I just felt like she was just kind of very dismissive. So she could have put a stop to it early on. Is what I was thinking. So
probably has to do with the podcast too. Cause I mean, her whole spiel is, you know, women who are successful have overcome, but then, you know, if she were to finally be like, oh, let me separate from him. Like he's an alcoholic. She might see that as something that works against her, I guess, in the podcast.
That's true.
Like, oh, well, you know, she's interviewed all these successful people and look at what's going on in her life.
Yeah. Kind of like the Steve Harvey thing, giving a bunch of advice and then.
Oh, yeah. You're kind of in shambles.
Yeah.
Well, like it was weird too. I don't remember. I think it was Josie that said it when she was like, you can't be a feminist and be like married to a man or something like that.
That was weird.
Like, what?
So maybe that lends credence to maybe she did want her.
Yeah.
She was like,
there's all these points that she was telling her.
Because I mean, she never really got a chance to like, I guess, explore anything as a kid. She immediately got roped into Walter. So she never had like the freedom to kind of figure things out on her own. She was always very dependent on people. So
very true. So in his conversation with Alex in her studio, Walter said, when Josie doesn't like the reality of things, she finds a reality she prefers. Just keep your wits about you. If you heard this about someone whose character you were already questioning, would you invite them to stay in your home? And why didn't Alex put a stop to the podcast sooner? We touched on it a little bit, but what did you think about Walter saying that? I think that was the important part because people had opinions yesterday about why he said that. Was he just trying to save them from what they did to cover up the murder? Or what do y'all think about that?
Because he like said something weird too at the dinner party. When Josie was like, I want to come clean to Alex, tell her everything about our lives, about our daughters. And he was like, no, you can't. Like, they'll call the police and whatever, this and that. And I was like, what the heck happened? What did he do?
Yeah.
So he's, I don't know.
So you think it was more about him just protecting?
Probably. Well, I don't know. But she is crazy. You really can't trust her.
I mean, it could go both ways. Like on one hand, he doesn't want all of their, skeletons. Being out there. But at the same time, maybe he does have like a shred of empathy for Josie. Alex just being like, she's I guess, decent person. I don't want her getting roped up into all this. Because also at the end of the day, if she gets roped up into it, then that's going to be more stuff for them to have to like cover up or deal with if it gets to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think, I guess more so like to cover their own backs.
Yeah, that's what I kind of gathered from it. I think that's what it was more of. But like you mentioned too, maybe he just felt some empathy for Alex. Also, he was like in his 80s. He had nothing to lose.
True.
So a part of me was like, well, who cares if he goes to prison, he's gonna die there. I mean, like in a year. versus Josie. I guess it was maybe more about protecting her
And the kids.
because she had a whole life to live.
Mhm.
I don't know. There's a lot to think about with that, but I don't know. Okay. So at the end of the book, Josie reflects that Roxy killed Brooke and that Josie was just protecting her daughter. What do you believe was the truth? There were some different opinions last night about that.
If I was a mom, I don't know if I'd call the police straight away. Take my daughter. She did something. I don't know. Would you cover for your son?
Hey, you put it, look, theoretically, look, I would think about it. I won't lie, but I would eventually, I might coax him to come home and be like, it's going to be okay or whatever.
Yeah.
And then call the cops.
Yeah.
Because, you got to think about the other family, the other,
Exactly.
you're
The
hurting
other parent.
the other parents, you're
And it's
hurting
like,
them.
Who knows if she's going to do it again too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like I think about that Gabby Petito case where the parents just brought the son home. And I'm not, again, don't know if the parents were involved, but they definitely allowed him to come home and they didn't do much to kind of help with the case. I don't think that would be me. I would have to help and be like, look, this is what happened.
Yeah.
So.
Because, there's a difference when it's like, you always joke like, oh, hey, my bestie killed someone.
Yeah.
We're going to go help bury the body. But, then,
Yes.
but as like a parent, from
Right or
your
wrong,
perspective, you know.
It's like, you got to know you're not doing homegirl justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the fact that they found her still in her prom dress too, that's just so sad.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen Stir of Echoes, the movie?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay, well, there's a scene where these young men, they murder this girl and they bury her in the wall.
Mm-hmm. People
People live in the house for 20, 30 years or whatever. Anyways, but when they find her body, she's still wearing her jacket. And I think she was going to prom too. And it kind of reminded me of that, they just
Dang.
put her away and time just stood still for
That's
her body.
crazy.
It was crazy. But
Out of sight, out of mind.
yeah.
Mhm.
So what some people weren't certain about yesterday was, did Josie actually kill Brooke or did Roxy? But I think the consensus was Roxy did it because
Yeah.
she told Brooke, hey, let's run away together. Let's do this. And she obviously was, she really liked Brooke. She was infatuated with her. And Brooke said no, and then I'm going to go to prom.
Mm-hmm.
So Roxy, in a fit of rage, just murdered her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of exhibiting her mom's need of being
Narcissist.
it needs to be about me. You
Yeah.
need to do what I want.
Correct.
Cater to
Yeah.
me.
Is narcissism hereditary?
Oh, I was going to say, well, the imbalance of
It looks
whatever
like
they
it's
had.
generational up in this book. So
Mhm.
you got Pat the mom, you got Josie, and then you got Brooke. And it's not far fetched for the Brooke thing because you kind of find out. For the Roxy thing, because
Yeah.
over the course of the story, you find out that she's been prone to fits of rage
Yeah.
and
And
You
in the end too, when she was getting mad at Josie for not eating the cereal or something like that.
Oh, yeah. That was in the extra chapter.
Yeah, I was like, and then we kind of hinted too. We're like, do you think Roxy's gonna kill Erin?
We talked about that. What do y'all think? Do you think she's going to end up killing her?
I want to say I don't think so, only because we did talk about the stream and how she kind of theoretically was keeping an eye on her in a way, even though we still don't know about the whole abuse thing being real or not. But
I don't think so. I feel like she'll abuse her, or not treat her well, thinking she's doing what's best for her. Because she said too, she was going to leave her home for a couple of days by herself. She's like, you don't eat anyways, I don't think she's going to maliciously stab her or kill her or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think
she's got Erin. If anything, she's got Erin pretty much under her thumb already, because Erin doesn't seem like the kind that's going to fight back, rat her out, unless she has some kind of character growth, in about a decade. But for the most part, I don't.
I think it's going to be more neglect. And if she died, it'd be from malnourishment or something.
Yeah.
Not the intentional, like you said, I'm going to go and stab you. But I felt like down the road, something would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way she was, just kind of like her mom, chip off the old block,
Yeah.
So, but okay, overall, did you like the book or not? And would you recommend it to others?
I would. It was fun. It was a really good read. I was very entertained.
Yeah.
Felt like I was listening to a podcast,
There you go.
which is great.
There you go.
I'll be honest, for the first portion of it, I was kind of zoning out because I was telling you, I was just kind of white women drama. But it definitely gets intriguing. It's one of those where it's it's not the best book, but you definitely want to find out how everything plays out. So I'd probably give it a 3.5, 3.75.
Yeah, I was telling y'all. So for me, I would give it 3.7, maybe close to a 4, the book itself. But I think what made it more appealing for me is after the discussion we had at Libros last night, like I went home and I was like, man, everybody had valid points. Now I started wondering what is true, what wasn't. So I think because of the discussion, it really pushed this book to the top of the list of the other ones we've read, just simply because the discussion was so good. It was very thought-provoking. So I would definitely recommend it to others.
And coming off of like the previous book again, I know I brought it up earlier in the podcast, but Bright Young Women, that was such a great book. And the discussion behind it too was so good. So the fact that this book kind of kept that trend of having a really great discussion.
I agree. Okay. So last question is, what are y'all currently reading other than the next book, which we will talk about in a bit?
I just finished this book this morning. So I'm gonna go through my holds and see what's on there that I can start reading again.
See what's next. Okay.
So I'm gonna be Ruby's twin and say I also finished the book this morning. No, I'm kidding. Just trying to make a terrible joke about being birthday twins. But no, I've been reading like a lot of manga and comics lately. Okay. I just finished volume 2 of Windbreaker, which I was surprised that I enjoyed it that much. And big fan of Demon Slayer. I just started reading the manga for that after like watching the anime and getting hyped up for the new movie. And then there's another. I'm just reading a lot of manga. Okay. Let's just leave it at that.
That's cool. I'm reading Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It's a leadership book. So me and the managers are starting that one. So that's what I'm working on right now. Other than the next book, which is Never Whistle at Night. So
which is going to be great because it's going to coincide with Hispanic Heritage Month.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, it's right there.
Unplanned, which is funny how that works out a lot of the time.
Just kind of nice little pick for that month, I guess.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that book. I've been seeing it like everywhere. And then now I have a reason to read it.
Yeah.
The day before.
Yeah. The morning of.
But speaking of that book, so just a quick little, by the way, it is available on cloudLibrary. So if y'all want to check it out, make sure y'all do so. If you don't have a library card with us, what are you waiting for? Go sign up for one.
Yes.
But yeah, so next book, Never Whistle at Night, an indigenous dark fiction anthology. Many indigenous people believe that one should never whistle at night. This belief takes many forms. For instance, Native Hawaiians believe it summons the Hukaipo, I apologize if I'm butchering that, the spirits of ancient warriors, and the Native Mexicans say it calls Lechuza, a witch that can transform into an owl. But what all these legends hold in common is the certainty that whistling at night can cause evil spirits to appear and even follow you into your home. This wholly original and shiver-inducing tales introduce readers to ghosts, curses, hauntings, monstrous creatures, complex family legacies, desperate deeds, and chilling acts of revenge.
Yeah, an anthology. I think this is going to be our first anthology, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right? I was thinking about that. It could go either way. The reviews are pretty good for it. It's written by Indigenous American, Native American, and I think a few Hispanic or Latino authors as well. So I'm excited about it. So I'm hoping, and it'll be September 8th at Burleson Yard Garden, September 1st, which is the first Monday of the month. It's on Labor Day that month. So we're going to push it to September 8th, the following Monday. So
yeah, should be good. I can't wait to see like if, you know, I hope that everyone has like a favorite, at least like little mini story from it. It's going to be fun to compare.
I'll try to design some questions around that. See if anybody's willing to talk about their favorite short story, and then we'll just kind of feed off of each other's remarks and stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. How do you discuss an anthology book?
It's going to be interesting for sure.
We'll find out, and you guys will know on our next Libros.
Write a question for each story. Just one question.
You know what? Okay, you're making it challenging for me. I can do that. I can do that.
Bet.
I can do that.
Let's see if we come through on those ideas and promises.
So the next Libros is going to be 3 hours long.
Yeah,
be prepared.
Be prepared for that one.
Not split into parts either. We're just going to go straight through. But with that said, again, thank you guys for joining us. Make sure if you are interested in reading None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, it is available on cloudLibrary, both formats, ebook and audiobook, both highly raved. Probably the audiobook more so.
Yeah.
But make sure you join us on September 8th at Burleson Yard Garden for Never Whistle at Night. So with that said, thanks for joining us. I'm Rosanna.
I'm Ruby.
And I'm Romeo.
We'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.